And when you come off, you come out nice and slow so you don't bust out that. You may have it. You can pull away, check it. You got it.
Yay! Good job! Awesome.
Meredith, is that your first fire ever?
Yeah.
It is.
So you just take that.
And then you would transfer that into your tinder bundle.
And then you kind of...
Oh. Alright, so we're walking along the trail here, and there's a couple different edible plants here. This is actually miner's lettuce. It's really distinguishable. It looks like it has little buttercups up top, or little lily pads, right? So yeah, this plant tastes a lot like butter lettuce, but it's best you find them as sprouts. But these ones are a little big. The bigger they get, the more bitter they're going to taste, but you know, these are great. And then right here on the ground, this plant that looks a lot like maybe a arugula or a dandelion, it's actually a sow thistle and it hasn't sprouted up yet. But this plant again is completely edible. And if you come over here, we'll see what the sow thistle looks like a little bit bigger. I thought I saw one over here. Oh, right back here. This is actually the sow thistle. As it grows up, these leaves you can see actually wrap around the stem, and it comes up and it actually has something that's a lot like a dandelion flower. This is actually a sow thistle, and this has a lot of vitamin C, and it also has, if you dry out these leaves, it has tons of protein, more protein per carb than a steak. So that one. Alright, so this plant right here with this little purple flower is actually what we call in California a blue dick. And it's actually like a wild potato, and a lot of the Native Americans relied on this. So what I'm going to do is dig down to the base of this root and get to the tuber of this plant. And if you come over here, you can see all these different, what looks somewhat like onions or garlic. And these little parts right there taste a lot like a chestnut. So it's important to make sure that you leave some of the sprouts in the ground. Like we dug up some of these right here. They're too small to really eat. I'm going to put them right back in the ground and continue to grow. Alright, so these little plants right here, the little flowers actually I should say, are scarlet pimpernels. And this is actually white sage. So this is actually used in lots of different smudging ceremonies. It's used, ritually. It's used to cleanse areas, cleanse yourself, purification ceremonies, and it's also edible. So what a great plant to also find on our trail. Alright, a couple different plants right here in this little vague area of green. This first one right here is sugar sumac, but I've also heard it referred to as lemonade berry. So they have kind of furry seeds. They're a lot like reindeer antlers. So you can actually drop these in some water and it'll actually be it'll taste a lot like lemonade afterwards. So that's great because you could actually extract the minerals and the benefits straight from the plant. And then also here you see this vine that's growing up these plants and trying to extract some photosynthesis to grow its wild cucumber. So that is actually a wild cucumber. And while this is poisonous if we were to eat it, its roots were used by the Indians. They're pounded and grinded up and then thrown into the water, and then it would dilute into the water and immobilize the fish, and they'd literally just float to the surface and they'd be grabbed by the Indians and they were edible afterwards. How great is that? This plant is a lot like white sage, but it's black sage. And it's actually a close friend of our white sage cousins, but it actually grows these different tall, almost like chia toppers. So that's why you could tell the difference, and besides just the color, but it's used for this exact same thing in the exact same way, and it's also an edible plant. Right here are actually wild peas, and they make these little bean pods, just like the ones that we get in the store. But these ones actually do get full size. We're getting them like really small right now. But yeah, these are wild peas, another edible plant that grows locally here in California.